Hello everyone, welcome to Trades Talk Tuesday. I'm your host, Pop Culture Mechanic. Please call me Pop for short. And this stream is a little different than the other streams I do, usually playing either video games or talking about anime. This involves the skilled trades. So if you're interested in knowing how to get into them, what to expect, other things that are related to it, as in like different kinds of trades, this is the place to be, because I talk about it every Tuesday. And before I get started, hello to Lucifer. Nice to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, just gonna check out what's going on in the news, because you can sort of tell how the economy's doing by when you look in the news of industry and see whether they're building more factories or if they're shutting them down, if there's strikes, or if there's things going on, whether they're making big deals or not. So I will get to that right now, thanks to MRO. And doesn't look like a very busy news week, that's for sure. BC invests $2 million to fuel growth in food and beverage manufacturing. I just wonder what that's all about. Let's have a look here. The government of BC is contributing as much as $2 million through the BC Manufacturing Jobs Fund, supporting 3 capital projects and 1 planning project to help food and beverage manufacturing grow by upgrading equipment and facilities while creating more than 125 new jobs. In Surrey, Dr. Ma's Laboratories, which manufactures more than 800 natural health products, will receive as much as $1.25 million to establish a second processing facility and complete facility upgrades. Upgrades will accommodate scaling up and automation of production to meet increasing demand. The food supplement and vitamin manufacturer will also bring raw ingredient processing in-house as part of a capital project which will triple production, enable it to prioritize local suppliers, and create 75 new jobs. In Pitt Meadows, when We Eat Manufacturing, which produces frozen snack foods for grocery store chains, and is working to become a net zero processing facility, is receiving as much as $623,000 to expand production, build and install new equipment. This project will create 50 jobs. Well, they didn't go into much detail, but it's nice to see that they're doing a little bit more investment to get your food and beverage facilities cranking out more. Whether or not this will help the average person is yet to be seen, though, when they do this. But let's hope for good things in the future to come out of this. What do we got here? Nestle moves to lower carbon alternatives for shipping. I'm not a big fan of Nestle. I think their CEO is a scumbag for saying that water is not an essential human right. This is a very small article. This does not even fill up like 5 lines. Hey, it's Gap. How you doing, Gap? And Godzillionaire. Hey, there you are. 1.9 million in kickbacks, 100,000 for business investment. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's how they do things. This one says, working with 3 of the world's largest shipping companies, Nestle will move the equivalent of half of its global shipping needs to alternative, lower emission fuels with immediate effect. By switching to cargo ships that use fuels made from waste, such as used cooking oil, the company aims to reduce its annual greenhouse gas emissions from shipping by around 200,000 metric tons of CO2 equivalent. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to measure that. Sounds like more shell or more shell games, hiding things. I don't care. I think Nestle's a scumbag company, and their CEO is a waste of skin. Yeah. So they're going to switch over to using cargo ships that use fuels made of waste. I mean, you can already use, in diesel engines, you can already use cooking oil. People do it. I knew this one fella that changed his Jetta over to it. So all you got to do is filter out all the solids. and you can run it on cooking oil. Redpath Sugar increases production capacity to meet growing demand. Okay, Redpath Sugar. Is it still because of the strike that was going on, I wonder? You know, Gap, I'm doing okay. I thought I would have to cancel stream tonight, but nope. After all, I made it home in time. I had to work late, though, and it's in the title of the stream today is compressor woes. And I'll get to that a little later about what was going on with the air compressor. And there he is, DJ Runny G. How you doing, DJ? I was just checking out this article here about Redpath Sugar increasing production. Redpath Sugar will expand its Toronto cane sugar refinery as a response to the growth in demand in Canada's thriving food market sector. Redpath Sugar's investment in the initiative will increase the Toronto refinery's capacity by approximately 65,000 metric tons. The project was planned and executed by Redpath Sugar's team of engineers. The expansion project improved process efficiencies and sustainable practices. They really like to throw that word in there, eh? Sustainable practices. You gotta throw that one out there into the word salad. Makes it sound good. This is the first phase of multiple projects that Redpath's considering to address the growing Canadian market. Continuous improvement projects implemented alongside the refinery expansion project are also yielding increases in daily output while conserving water and energy. You just got liberated from a packed bus? Oh yeah. That's good. Yeah, riding public transit though, eh? That can be taxing on the old nerves there. So that's it for the news of the week. Not a lot to report on at all. They really haven't got a lot of stories out there. So with that, let's move along here. Let's move along. So you want to get into the skilled trades, do you? Ask yourself, I want to change a career. I want to do something else. So where you work at now, is there people in the trades there? Do they work there already? You can definitely hit them up and ask them some questions. What it's like, what you perceive that they do in a day. Another way is to become a helper, a trades helper. You don't even have to be an apprentice yet. So to do that, let's just say you go to Indeed, because that seems to be like one of the most popular job search websites out there right now. You positive note, you rode an open plan train for the first time. Yeah, how was that, DJ? What was that like? But yeah, so we check it on Indeed here, and you'll see listings: production helper, automotive mechanic, apartment maintenance technician, sponsored HVAC recruit. Now that would be a good idea. That's a good way to start. HVAC are always in demand. This one starts at $15 an hour, which is all right. It's full time, 40 hours a week, Monday to Friday. But if you were just helping the HVAC journeyman out, I'm sure you would learn a lot. What else we got here? Automotive technician, window installer helper. I guess that could be, you could be working your way up to glazer if you were doing a window installer. Maintenance technician 2, automotive technician, cable technician, journeyman electrician. So I typed in helper, hoping that it would pop up with more jobs that are entry level auto glass technician. There you go. Good pay too. That's all right. Auto mechanic, student helper for research. Automotive tech, seasonal parks maintenance worker, diesel mechanic, vacuum repair technician, marine mechanic, maintenance assistant. There you go. Maintenance assistant will help you get some good experience. Aerospace window mechanic. That seems to me very important. Sounds like you're putting windows in airplanes. And we all know how important those are. Vehicle readiness specialist. Oh, for Tesla. Wow. Full time, flex time, 1680 to 2519. You were stoked. You took a video and you'll do it again next time you ride one? Hey, all right. Got to get that video up there, DJ. What else we got for helpers? Maintenance technician at level 2. Maintenance worker at the University of Washington. Maintenance technician 3. Automotive technician. Rolling stock mechanic. Rolling stock just means anything with wheels. Field technician. Window and gutter cleaning. Okay. HVAC installer technician. You need 2 years install experience required, but the wage is $35 to $50 an hour. Whew. Yeah, Alaska Air. Assembly repair technician. Maintenance lead technician, diesel mechanic. Handyman technician, service advisor. Entry level express technician. Looks like it's for a dealership or something like that. Auto glass repair specialist. Paid training. Nice. Maintenance tech. Aircraft maintenance technician. It's still not helper stuff. Assistant maintenance. There you go. Anyways, that's how you do it. You look up and see if they need a helper. Because that usually leads into an apprenticeship, because you can show them how well you work, whether you enjoy it or not. You got a knack for it. And then once you do that, then you can, approach them and be like, yeah, hey, you got a journeyman here. I would really like to be his apprentice. And then you do that. Over here on the Alberta website, they do a pretty good job of explaining how to do things and providing you with the information for it. I'm actually quite impressed. I don't think there's anything kind of like that in the U.S. at all, where the government actually really helps you and gives you the information you need. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. It says here, finding a job in trades is similar to starting down any career path. First, you'll need to choose from more than 50 designated trades in Alberta. You'll start as an apprentice, which combines classroom learning with actual work experience. If you're still in high school, you can earn credits toward an apprenticeship through the Registered Apprenticeship Program, or RAP program. Outside of high school, you can choose a trade you want to work in and then find an employer willing to train you as an apprentice. Once you're hired, you can apply online. There you go. And a lot of this is done online. It's amazing how much is done. And then you're like, well, what do I want to do? So there's a list. It's alphabetical. And you can go all the way from agriculture equipment technician. So you're working on tractors, combines, all the stuff that farmers are going to use. All the way down to well testing. And everything in between. Appliance service technician, commercial, auto body technician. There's a couple of those. Prepper, refinisher, repairer, and an automotive service technician, or what's known as just regular old car mechanic. They're getting fancy now with the titles. Guten Abend, Alex Moore. Was ist los? How you doing? In the B's, you got a baker, a barber, a boiler maker, and a bricklayer. Cabinet maker, carpenter, cathodic protection. That's to do with like pipelines and making sure they don't corrode under the ground. Communication technician, concrete finisher, construction craft worker, cook, crane and hoisting equipment operator. This is good. You can do a boom truck, a mobile crane, or a tower crane, or a wellhead boom truck. That's a little more specialized, I would think. Electric motor service systems technician, electrician, elevator constructor. So just working on elevators is its own thing. And that's pretty important. These things go up and down, hundreds, if not thousands of times a day. Hauling people safely is very important. So I'm sure they're going to want somebody who's very diligent in their job. Because who wants to get stuck in an elevator or at worst have it fail on them? Field heat treatment technician, floor covering installer, gas utility operator. Oh yes, gas fitters, Class A and Class B. A glazer, so that's dealing with glass. Hairstylist, heavy equipment technician. I went through a bit of the heavy equipment technician schooling and such. I only did 2 years of it, but yeah, that was good. That was good stuff. I don't use it anymore or now because I don't have any heavy equipment to work on. Heavy duty equipment off-road. Then there's transport trailer mechanic and then truck and transport mechanic. Industrial construction crew supervisor, industrial mechanic millwright. That's what I do. Instrumentation and control technician. Those are very important. Everything now has the instruments on it. All the new machinery has interlocks. It's automated. You need an instrumentation guy that knows his stuff and can help you out when the machine's not running for some reason and it's being held out by a lockout or something like that, or an interlock. You don't have to be recertified in the trades gap. Once you have your ticket, that's it. If you show gross negligence, you can have it taken away from you. But other than that, you don't have to be recertified. Once you get your trades ticket, you have it for life. There's other things you have to be recertified in, like operating forklift and skid steer and loader, first aid, H2S alive, confined space, all that stuff. Those need to be certified, and probably every 3 years is what I've found. Hey, it's the Gooch. How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, just hanging out, explaining to everybody what kind of trades are out there for everybody. And that recertification, you don't need to recertify for your trades ticket. It's just other training that you do, like I said, first aid, confined space, all that stuff. Comes around every 3 years. Insulator. Insulator's a good one. Ironworker metal building system erector. Ironworker reinforcing. There's a couple ironworker ones. Looks like you could specialize in different sections of being an ironworker. I mean, you're putting buildings together. You're working outside, usually at heights. So it's not for the faint of heart. You're going to be walking around on I-beams and such, putting things together. Putting buildings together. That'd be fun stuff. There's a landscape horticulturist, a lather, interior systems mechanic, locksmith, machinist. Machinist is good. Like, you usually stay pretty clean when you're working on your machines, operating them, but there's also like CNC programming to do, which as more companies do CNC machines, which is just computer numerical controlled, you're going to be programming, and then they'll just hire somebody to be an operator to operate that machine, put pieces in, hit go, whereas you have the important job of programming the machine to make it do all the things it needs to do to make that part precisely. Metal fabricator or fitter, motorcycle mechanic, natural gas compression technician. So natural gas compressors, that'll be, a lot of them will be in power plants. So, for the cities or whatever, they have their own power plants. They run natural gas. If they're not to run off of hydro or like a dam, like with water power and all that, like like BC is, and I'm sure Washington State. But when you get away from not having natural waterfalls or anything like that, or a place to set it up, you're going to rely on, it used to be coal-fired, but now it's natural gas to make your power for your city. Don't think you're going to rely on solar or wind to keep up with demand. Ask Germany. They got rid of all their gas, natural gas compression power plants, and now they're trying to do nothing but solar and wind, and I don't think they're having a good time of it. So don't do what they do. Let's keep the natural gas powered turbines, and we'll be fine. We'll have the lights on when the temperature drops below minus 20. We're going to stay warm. We're not going to worry about whether the sun's going to come out. There's oil and gas transportation services, outdoor power equipment technician for power equipment, outdoor power equipment technician for recreational equipment. So I'm guessing that's like, the first one's like your lawn mowers and such like that, and weed eaters. The recreational equipment, you're going to be your side-by-sides, your ATVs, ATCs, all that stuff. Overhead door technician, level 1 and 2. I'm not crazy about working on overhead doors. Those high-tension springs, they scare the hell out of me, and I would not want to, I don't want to mess around with those, so better that somebody else does it than me. We got painter and decorator, parts technician, materials technician, or parts technician. Parts technicians, they're working in the places that to order a lot of parts. If you have a tool room and you if you have a procedure where you have to go through a parts technician, that's where they'll be. Plumber's one. These guys, they earn good money. They do a good job, usually, if they know what they're doing, and they can help you out. Power systems electrician or power line technician. So you're high voltage. You're going to be working with high voltage if you're a power line technician. Not for the faint of heart. Recreational vehicle service technician. You're going to be working on RVs, trailers, campers, stuff like that. Refrigeration and air conditioning mechanic. Always going to be busy too. If you're into refrigeration and air conditioning, you're going to be in demand when it's summertime and people want their air conditioning. Residential construction site manager, you're just watching over everybody is what you're doing. Roofer, if you like working outside all the time and hanging off of roofs, yeah, go ahead, be a roofer. Next up, sheet metal worker. These guys are great. They can turn like flat pieces into like all sorts of things. Duct work and all that is usually what they do. And some of these guys are really talented. Slickline services, I'm guessing that's to do with the oil fields. Same with the snubbing services. I'm not sure what that's all about. You'd be a sprinkler system installer or a steam fitter and pipe fitter. Steel detailer. A transport refrigeration technician. So you're going to be working on refrigerated trailers. Finally, water well driller. Earth loop technician. So drive around in these machines and just drill water wells. A welder. There you go. You got to have somebody that sticks two pieces of metal together. But I don't like the fact they separated out to welder and welder wire process operator. I think if you're a welder and you know how to weld with stick, You should learn how to weld with wire as well. It shouldn't be a choice, either or. You should be able to know how to work with a weld with stick welding and wire and even TIG, which is a little bit more involved in it. Yap, your dad was a healer? Was that on the I'm not sure what that is. Or was that on the for the oil field? Yeah, so that's it. You have a plethora of things to choose from. There is lots to choose from. And we talked about how to get into it. You got to pick one, and then once you do that, get your hours in, get yourself signed up, get indentured. That's when the company will sign you up, and they'll be like, yes, now we recognize you as an apprentice, and you'll begin accumulating your hours, which are important. You need your hours because you need so many a year, and then you need to go get your classroom work done. So that's usually roughly 2 months of classroom. Pass your exams, pass all your tests, pass your exams at the end, and then you'll come back and you'll be the next year. So you go to school as a first year, pass all your exams, and then boom, you go back to work. Your second year, automatic raise in pay, and then accumulate your hours for the next year. So keep on doing that. Oh, you did heliarc welding. Okay. Heliarc. What is heliarc? Let's have a look here. Oh, TIG welding. At least that's what it says it is. Okay. TIG, or tungsten inert gas, and heliarc welding are names for the same type of welding in which an arc is produced with a non-consumable tungsten electrode. Also is also referred to as gas tungsten arc welding, or GTAW. There you are. TIG welding. That's good stuff. If he was a good TIG welder, I mean, those guys are amazing about the things they can put together. Like, I've heard of people welding 2 pop cans together with TIG without even melting through the skin of the can. So that's pretty good. All right, so today, so that's just wrapping up here what he was great at it. There you go. Right on, Gap. Yeah. Just wrapping this up here about how to get into them. Yeah, the information is all out there. You just have to type it in, and it'll be there. It should help you. I realize this is from Canadian perspective, but it should be all available to anybody out there. You should be able to. And if you can't, if you have a hard time, hey, let me know. I'll see if I can help you out. I'm always willing to help people out that want to get into the trades. They want to have a good career, something that can't be taken away from them, and something that will help them out for the rest of their lives. Because my trade has helped me out, even working around the house. Doing things like plumbing and such. Great service I do with the. Oh, hey, thanks, man. Right on. No, I'm glad somebody appreciates it. I'm just coming out here and just speaking my mind, and it's something important to me because there is a shortage. There is a bad shortage of skilled tradesmen out there. We need to fill in the gap. Yeah, thank you. I'll be here all week. Vader has an apprenticeship. Oh yes, Darth Welder. Two there are. No more, no less. Okay, so today, out on why I was late, I was working on this thing here. This is a rotary screw air compressor. This is the exact one that I was working on. Not much to it, right? Looks like a big box. Big box. It's got an e-stop on there and a little display. Tells you what's going on. So, this thing, I was, yes, you could say we were screwing around. This thing was starting to overheat. Normal operating temperature is, and I'll do my conversion here for you guys, 70 degrees C to F. Okay. So normal operating temperature is 70 to 85 degrees Celsius. That's 158 to 185. So that's the range. That's the range it's supposed to run in, those temperatures. Well, it was getting up to, I think those guys turned it off when it hit 100. So we thought it was the old air end. So it was running, or it would shut itself off at like 212 Fahrenheit. Vina, how you doing? Well, just telling the guys, telling everybody what I was doing today, and I was working on this machine here with the air compressor because it was overheating, and we needed to get it so it wasn't overheating anymore. So we had the technician out there, and I was with him. And inside, there is the reservoir for the oil, for the air compressor. That's what this thing is. That's what you're looking at right here. I'll zoom in a bit. This thing here, that's the reservoir. And we had thought it was the air end, two twin screws that help make the pressure. Hey, Jay's daddy, how you doing? Hello. What's going on then? Just zip tie a water hose to the outside. Duh. Yeah, okay, Godzilla. That's how it works. But yeah, we thought it was the air end. We thought the two screws that help make the pressure were fail. And the air end was old. It had a lot of hours on it. It probably houred out. It was well, it was probably has never been changed since 2013, so it's probably got lots of hours on it. So we changed that. Brand new air end. Started this thing up, overheats again. Or what the hell? Okay, I'm looking at the technician, he's looking at me. I'm like, all right. Well, let's look at the let's look at the radiator on this thing. So we looked it over. The thing is clean. Like we even vacuumed it and blew it out with compressed air. This thing was clean. Okay, well that's not the problem then. Usually because if the radiator gets plugged up with debris, it'll overheat. Okay, no problem. That thing's good. All right, now what? So the technician calls his buddy who's an expert in the Dev Air compressors. And he's like, well, there's a thermal valve in there that opens up and lets the oil into the radiator. And he's like, oh. I'm like, okay, well, he says sometimes it'll get stuck. Heads up, if you're not talking too much, you're drawing and using this as background noise. Well, I'm pleased to be at least some background noise for you, Vina. I'll try to keep this interesting. Zip ties are restraints of the gods. They are tough. Some of them are so tough. And then some of them I've used them before and I've broken them by trying to cinch them up with my hand. So there's a lot of difference in quality out there. So this thermal valve, and I have a picture. So there's the valve, or Yeah, there we go. So that's what it looks like apart. It had, there we go. So these orifices here are the ones that let the oil through. You've got your spring, and this thing is what does the expanding, I believe. The bimetallic. The heat exchanger wasn't getting enough oil through it, Godzillionaire. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So we took this thing out, we took it to the shop, we cleaned it up, and then I said to the guy, he's like, well, it might not work even after we clean this all. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? You said it's just like a thermostat in your car. I said, why don't we just take the guts out of it and let it have full flow through there, so it doesn't even have anything impeding the oil's progress. And you know what? We put it back in without the guts in it and fired it up, and the thing ran at like 67, 68 degrees Celsius. And it's like, you know what? This is going to work until we can get a replacement. Hey, Blaine, you've owned that car before? Just take the thermostat out, call her good. This is what I had to do on this air compressor. I had to stay late at work today to get that done with the technician. And it goes on top of the reservoir is a block. The block has like 2 filters, and it has the thermal valve sitting in the block. This isn't a good representation of it because it's a different style. I'll take some pictures tomorrow when we replace it with the proper one. But yeah, I just had to leave the guts of that thermal valve out, and it seemed to work okay. So you were looking at a happy camper. I was quite pleased when we had it up and running again, and that it was keeping cool, because it was overheating really bad. And we don't want to ruin a completely new air end on the compressor, because it's expensive. I think this one was like $8,000. And see if I can get you a shot of it here. Not quite there. But I'll definitely get pictures tomorrow, because the technician is coming back with the right part. And we'll just have to do a quick little shutdown on that machine. This thing runs 24/7. Gap. This compressor we have, it runs all the time. It does not shut off. We have a backup compressor, which is for emergencies in case this thing goes down. I don't know if we're going to get a good shot of the air end here. You say the air, like I say, the air end is what actually makes the pressure in the compressor. That's not a very good shot of it. There it is there. So it's right here. Here's where the air gets pulled into. And the twin screws are in here. And they are what actually compresses the air. Well, what I could do is probably show you. There's got to be something out there. Twin screw, rotary, compressor, animation. What do you know? One on YouTube. So it'll look just like a blower for your car, if you know what that looks like. So they should pull this apart, and you can see inside, and hopefully it shows you how it rotates and makes the pressure. Here we go. Yeah, so you've got your support bearings for the twin screws. Here comes the twin screws right here. That action that it's doing there squeezes the air in between the screws, which is what makes the pressure. And it does it at, obviously, high speed, however fast your motor's running at, 1700 revs. And it'll have a source of, well, okay, so this, I think what they're showing there is the valve that controls how much demand. Like, the newer compressors are quite smart because they'll have this valve that'll open and close for demand, so it's not running hard all the time. It can run, you know, as much demand as needed. So if there's a lot of demand, it'll close that valve and it'll really make more and more pressure and provide the CFM that you need, the cubic feet per minute that you need, because that's what demand is. It's showing the gas flow, right? As the air gets compressed, it gets hotter and hotter, which is why you need a condenser and a what is it now? A dryer. You need an air dryer because when you compress air and it gets hot and then it cools down, it forms liquid. You don't want water in your air, so it goes through a dryer. Ever seen those screws made? Quite the CNC. You know what, Godzilla? That'd be cool to see. I would love to watch the CNC machine that makes these things. There's the oil for the bearings. So you should have a thin coating of oil just to protect this thing. Kind of like an intercooler on a carb lane. Probably the same principle. A 6-axis CNC. Nice. Yeah, right now it's showing bearings and oil flow. So everything has to be lubricated, otherwise it'll heat up and seize. So that was a Howden screw compressor. Not exactly the one I was working on today. Here's a 3-minute one about
MAN Diesel and Turbo manufactures tailor-made process gas screw compressors for customers. A modular system of tried and tested components guaranteeing the utmost reliability.
need something a little bigger here.
Size, a compressor stage can suck
Yeah, isn't that amazing, Gap?
volume flows of between about 200 and 100,000 cubic meters per hour. All screw compressors operate according to the basic principle of a positive displacement machine, whose key element is a pair of spiral rotors. During operation, the rotors turn and the spiral teeth mesh together, forming chambers between the rotors and the casing wall. Rotation causes the chambers to move from the suction or intake side to the compression or discharge side. These chambers are connected to the suction nozzle via ports. As the chambers enlarge, they are filled with gas flowing in through the nozzle. To understand the compression process better, let's look at an individual chamber.
Okay, there we go. We're going to check out and see how they actually does the compression.
And then closed by a circumferential edge in the casing. The rotors now transport the gas to the discharge side, where the chamber shrinks and the retained gas...
Okay, it uses that outer wall as a chamber. That is neat.
Let's view the process again, this time from below. Once the gas is compressed, the chamber reaches another port connected to a discharge nozzle, and the gas flows out. All the chambers between the two rotors are being filled and emptied continuously. This means that with a screw compressor, the compression process is more or less ongoing. The design of a screw compressor
You also don't get any pulsations out of it like you would with a reciprocating compressor.
with those of a rotating machine, making this type of compressor suitable for a very wide range of applications.
But everything should go to a central reservoir anyway, or a tank, a holding tank for the
Has been developing
for
and
the air.
constructing process gas screw compressors at its Oberhausen location since 1952. It is one of the few companies worldwide which sells both oil-free and oil injection compressors for process
Machine that turns a blue fart into a red fart. Yeah? But yeah, so that was what we were doing today. Rotary compressor. Figuring out why it was overheating, and it turns out that there's a thermal valve in there that lets the oil go through the radiator, which I was not aware of. But I am now, and I'll know in the future to look for that if this thing ever starts. And it was a slow process too. It slowly heated up. Every week it'd be like another degree hotter. And it's like, oh, okay. So I tried first cleaning the radiator, blowing it out, making sure it's clean, because that's usually what happens. The radiator gets plugged and the thing overheats. But that didn't help. And even when we went through that cold snap, I told the guys, hey, make it so that the window's open and that they let some cold air to flow in to that compressor. But that didn't help either. So it's amazing, just blocking that amount of oil, like this thing is not very big, but blocking the amount of oil flow through there, going through the radiator, caused it to overheat. Once we removed this thing, it was free to flow, and fortunately it flowed through the radiator and got cooled down. So quite lucky in a way that it worked out. So, and the reason that is because tomorrow we want to start up the whole plant. So our outage is over. All the things that were supposed to get done got done. And we got to fire back up. And we got to fire back up with our brand new compressor. And get that going. And boy, oh boy, everybody's going to be happy to see that thing start up and run. Kind of like how a pressure relief valve failing can cause a lot of problems. Yes, especially for us. So if we have a failure of a pressure relief valve, that's why we have groups of 2. We have had a failure where the pressure relief valve will just keep passing. And so we have to shut the line and go to the backup. And then once we shut down and purge the plant, then we're okay to change the pressure relief valve. But all of our pressure relief valves get piped into our flare line. Now what that means is if any of those lift or they actuate, any of the gases that it's protecting will get sent to our flare and burned up. So that's how things work where we're at. We can't just have an errant discharge from a pressure relief valve. It has to be piped in and go somewhere, which for us it goes to a flare. Also, I'm amazed that the sound level that these compressors are at now, 74 decibels. That's like speaking level. Like 74 is great. Some of these compressors I've listened to before, they just scream, and you can't even be in the same room with them because they just howl like crazy. But not bad, 74 decibels. Makes it a lot more pleasant when you're around the machine. But yes, that was my compressor woes today, was all caused by the thermal valve. So if anybody ever wonders, if you're looking at a compressor and it's overheating, maybe say to the guy, hey, Did you check the thermal valve? Did you, maybe you'll get one for your nightstand? 70 decibels? That's less than an angry French Canadian. Is it though? Is it less than an angry French Canadian? I don't know about that, gazillionaire. They can talk pretty loud if you ask me. Oh. Not that I'm French Canadian. I'm nowhere near Quebec or anywhere like that, but it's fun to do the accent, eh? Yeah, there we go. So I hope you guys learned a little bit today about rotary screw compressors and how they work. Quite fascinating if you ask me. And when you have trouble with overheating, keep a look out at your oil flow. See if it's getting through where it's got to go. The reason we thought of that was because we had a temp gun, and we were just shooting the hoses, and the hoses were not getting hot. The hoses that went into the radiator were not hot at all. They weren't as hot as the oil in the air end. So it's like, oh, the hoses should be as hot as the oil that's coming out of the air end. So it's like, well, why is that? Why it's stopping it? And it turns out it's that thermal valve. Well, I'm glad you think so, Gap. I try, just the life experience that's going on, things that I experienced today. I always have a good time. I like talking to you guys about this stuff. I think it's pretty important. And like I said earlier, just you're thinking about it. Don't worry about how old you are. I knew a guy that was 50 years old when he started his apprenticeship. So it doesn't matter how old you are to start into the skilled trades. You'll have no problem. When I went where I went, they had little modules you did. So you just got your modules, you read them, you answered the questions, and then those questions were on the exam that you were going to take. So as long as you read and wrote and did the questions in the module, you would pass the exam or the test. Sorry, not the exam, the test. And then the exam was all of those modules together, and you'd just go from there. Doesn't matter how old you are. Tell that to your aching joints. Well, you know what? It's a matter of taking care of yourself too. When you're working in the trades, as long as I have, when you're younger, you're like, no problem, I'm tough, I can do this. Now that I'm older, I'm like, you know what? I need to have like a prop, like a kneeling pad or something like that if I'm going to work for extended periods of time. I'm not going to lift that because that's too heavy. I'll get somebody to help, or I'll get a machine to do it. So it's you got to save yourself so you can move around when you're older, and use the machines. Don't strain yourself. You're gonna regret it when you get older. The one thing I regret is not wearing a lot of hearing protection, because now I have tinnitus in my left ear. So right, if you don't know what that is, it's just like a very slight ringing for me in my left ear, and it sometimes it makes it hard to hear some things. So one of the regrets I have, and it's just from being out in industry for all these years. So don't let it happen to you. Take care of yourself out there, no matter what your job is. Even when you're at home doing, like, say, mow the lawn, wear some earplugs, earmuffs. When you're using the weed eater, use a face shield. Go and get yourself a face shield, because that thing will whip up a rock or something or anything into your face. So, no matter where you are, take care of yourself. Your hearing loss was from metal concerts? To be young and dumb? Yeah. I could see that. A lot of guys I work with are they're going through that phase right now where they go to like metal concerts and they're just like loud music in their car. Yes, DJ, goggles are your friend. Yep. So full face shield. Goggles are nice, but full face shield. If you've ever had a zip disk blow up on you, that thing, it'll cut your face up. That's a long video. That's angle grinder explodes. Yeah, like yeah, you like your face, of course.
Can have serious
Quality leather gloves.
Yeah, so face shield is good because if one of those cut-off discs ever explodes, it'll catch you right in the face.
position change.
And you're going to the hospital and they're going to try to remove it out of your face.
Match.
Your grinder RPM rating needs to be correctly with.
Be worn.
Make a final check.
In front of you at a comfortable distance. Much pressure make setting the grinder.
A lot of mistakes people make with those cut-off wheels too is they try to grind with them. So they put pressure on them and they're very thin. And they will snap off and break on it at an instant. They're meant for cutting straight down. They're not meant for grinding or having any kind of pressure put on the face of them. So yeah, always be careful. Better to have more stuff to protect you than less. Anyway, I'm going to wrap her up here, everybody. It was really great having you all come out today. I had a good time. I hope you did too. There's one place you worked at had multiple cousins working there. 2 of them were missing a finger from different... Oh, man. Yeah? You know, I can say with all confidence I have all my fingers still. Right? 25 years in the trade, and I still have all of my fingers. I haven't lost one. Yeah, there's probably been a few close calls, but nothing major. I think the worst thing I did was like stab myself with a screwdriver in the thumb. Now I have a star-shaped scar on my thumb because it was a Phillips. But yeah, just be careful out there and look out for the other guy too, because you know what? They're gonna hurt you. So you can be safe, but then it's the guy that's not safe that usually ends up hurting you. So just be aware, keep your head on a swivel, right? Pay attention. Maybe pull your head out of your phone once in a while. I make it a point not to have my phone out in the plant with me. It stays in my lunch kit. So I don't ever walk around with my phone. And if anybody from management asks me where my phone is, it's like, I tried to get a hold of you. It's like, I don't carry it around. Like, you can't force me to carry my personal phone around. You want me to have a phone? Get me one. Get me a company phone. So that's how that works. Yeah, I just want to thank everybody that showed up today too. Lucifer, it was good to see you. Gap, always a fun time having you show up. Godzillionaire, everyone's favorite kaiju. DJ Ronnie G. And Alex Moore, the working man, and the Gooch. Nice to see you stop by. And Vina, what a pleasure. And Jay's daddy. Hope you're doing well watching that One Piece. And of course, Blaine from Blaine's Escape Corner. He should be streaming right now as we speak. If you guys need to escape from reality, I would go there. I think he's doing a Gunpla build today. Yeah, you too, Vina. You have a good night too. And thanks, Gap. I'm glad you like my streams. I try. It's all I can do. It's all I can do is just try. But yes, if you guys like it, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Hey, there's this guy that talks about the skilled trades every Tuesday. Tune in to him. There's other good channels out there too, people I personally watch and enjoy, like Pacific 4 and 4. The aforementioned Blaine from Blaine's Escape Corner. There's Ronan66. DJ Warani G. There's Brandon the Anime Guy. Angry Canadian. Our own Whoopa Troopa. And Punk Waddle. And speaking of Punk Waddle, DJ, what'd you bring up here? Snacks and Punk Waddle are doing Gunpla now. Okay. Nip and Nag. Oh, so there you go. You can check those guys out. Snacks and Friends. So that's a fun time. Oh, there you go. It's at Snacks323. So if you guys want to see some Gunpla, I would tune in there. As for me, I have a Discord. It's called The Shop because, it's where all the tradesmen hang out. We hang out at the shop. Coming up, Saturday, a brand new game. I've finished Golden Sun. In case you weren't aware, I did it. I beat the last boss. We had the epilogue, and it goes right into the sequel of Golden Sun, which I'm not going to play. Instead, I'm playing a different game. It's not an RPG. It's going to be a platformer. But I'm not going to tell you guys about it. You'll have to come by and see. Because I'm just that evil. And that's on Saturday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Sunday Anime Chat. The theme of this month is Mahou Shoujo, which translates to Magical Girls. Stop on by and we'll go over a couple of Magical Girl shows. And we'll probably go over the news of the week. We'll see what's happening in the world of anime and manga. And even go over the shows. This season is wrapping up. Most shows are on their number 10 episode now. Most of them are like 12 or 13 episodes. So things are wrapping up. And I have really enjoyed this season for anime. It's unbelievable. The winter season has been just great. Banger shows everywhere. Like this is, and I hope you guys are enjoying the stuff out there too. It's great. And then right away we circle around again. Trades Talk Tuesday. I'll be here. We won't be on shutdown anymore. So hopefully I won't be working long hours. Because that takes its toll on you too. I find I'm not a very big overtime guy. I don't like a lot of overtime. And I tell my manager that. I'm like, you know what? I don't want a lot of overtime. You don't have to give me a lot of overtime. I'll work it if I have to, but I don't want to. My time away from work is more precious to me than my time at work. Like the old saying goes, you work to live, you don't live to work. And with that, I hope to see you all here on Saturday for the game stream. You dislike OT as well, DJ? Yep. I'm right up there with you, buddy. So yes, until next time, everyone, I hope to see you on Saturday. I've been Pop, and I am signing off.